a daily basis, everyone can alter their habits to benefit the world we live in. Here today, I am joined by our guests, Cathy Nesbitt and Vino, help me out, Jayapalan.
There you go.
Yeah. There we go. Welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you both here. Now, we don't have much time. We have a lot to talk about, too. So, Cathy, start us off. What is Cathy's Crawley Composters?
Just in brief, it's indoor composting with worms. So the same idea as outdoor composting, except it's done inside in a container. Food scraps, paper, worms turn it into nature's finest fertilizer.
Very cool.
Simple.
Simple, effective,
on-site, environmental.
Love it. Very cool.
Beautiful.
And Vino is the founder of the Youth Environmental Network of York Region.
Yeah, it's a mouthful for sure. By short, we go by Yenyer, even though on paper it doesn't sound like that. But we're a nonprofit organization, started back in '07, and we've been working with Cathy ever since too. And our goal is just to kind of empower youth to run initiatives around environmental awareness, environmental action, absolutely anything. But our main mechanism is just provide them the resources so they can go do about what they do best.
Very cool. Now, when did you find, or when did you create this organization?
Cathy's Crawley Composters was born in 2002, same year that the Keel Valley landfill closed, and we started shipping garbage from the Toronto area to Michigan.
Right.
So it was a perfect time for me to create this enterprise to take those two, the paper and food scraps, out of the waste stream.
That's awesome. Very innovative. I love it. And when did you start the Yenyer?
Yeah, so we started back in 2007. I think I was in grade 10, so it was a while back then. And essentially I started it not actually with an interest for the environment at all. I just noticed some students in the Eco Club mentioned they only had $100 to do what they did, and I thought there could be a fix here. So learned how to incorporate an organization using Google, raised $10,000, got them to join the group, and we started running our first conference where we had Trudeau as our keynote speaker, and ever since then we try and do different initiatives.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, one thing I love about both of your different organizations is that you started off with a simple concept, and it's grown, and it's done so well.
For sure.
And that's amazing. And like I said, it's two very simple ideas that have done amazing things. Now, just to make sure on this, you received a scholarship from TD for $70,000.
Yes, that's right.
That's very impressive, I would say.
Yes.
And that was because of this organization and because you took the initiative to do something.
Yeah, so
that's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's actually really good. Like, I love TD. They're a great organization. They're also like very proactive with environmental action. So it was like it all went hand in hand. But in grade 12, like most students, you know, you don't really think about paying for university. So when it came down to it, my brother and I stumbled upon this scholarship. And it was the one scholarship in Canada, and I'd say like in North America confidently, that supports community leadership.
Very cool.
So I applied, and you know, they loved what I was doing, and you know, the mission and the thought behind it. And essentially, you know, even as a spokesperson on behalf of the scholarship, I'd say TD just promotes like great youth and what they're doing and proactive. It doesn't matter what they're doing as long as they're you know, being very proactive about it.
That's awesome. That's so inspiring. And I would still consider you extremely young, but to know that you did this so many years back, and it's just, like I said, it's just continued to grow. It's really phenomenal to hear that, and not to mention that you have sort of benefit for yourself. And I think that's one thing I really want to promote to everyone that's watching tonight, is that the environment is something we have to take care of, but when we take care of it, it benefits us too.
Right. And
that's so important to promote, right? And for you, you're just a walking example of it, right? So now both of you, of course, are very environmentally conscious now. Have you always been this way, or something that you got into for a certain reason?
You know, the environment isn't out there. We sort of talk about the environment like it's something we can put in a box or in a compartment. It's part of us. It's the air we breathe, the water we drink. It's where we live. It's everything. No, I don't even really call myself an environmentalist so much, because I'm just a human person doing good stuff, like doing good for the planet, feeling good about what I'm doing, being good to my fellow people, and yeah, I wasn't always an environmentalist.
Okay.
No.
But you're doing a great job of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think for me it was completely different. Like, as a student, I didn't really care at all. Like, for me, it was just like, I was super transparent about it. I didn't really care. I was working for the town of Markham at the time, on the youth council, running programs and initiatives, and we had a crazy budget where we can like really take the ideas we had and like implement them. And being a high school youth in grade 9, you know, you're not given that ability. But then when I came across this problem, when I was trying to solve that problem of giving these students the funding they need to run the initiatives that they wanted to run, that's where I really saw like the environmental aspect fall into my life. And the way that I live it is just it's not to like convert everyone to become, change their daily lives, but find out ways that we can adopt our daily lives to more environmentally friendly movements, I'd say.
Absolutely. Well, something that we're going to talk about later in the show is just simple ways that at home or at school or in the workplace that you can make small changes that make such a big difference. But like I said, we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show. What I want to ask both of you, we only have a bit of time left, so try and keep this concise if you can. What aspect of the environment do you think that we as a community need to take more action on and just be more aware of? And what can we do about it?
For me, of course, my passion is worm composting and composting. We need to keep the organics out of the landfill. And I think that this is really, composting just on its own without worms is something everybody that lives in a house can do.
Very cool.
And if you live in an apartment, get worms.
There you go.
Yeah, I agree with Cathy. It's finding, I think innovation's huge, finding ways to make the human's life frictionless in terms of adopting environmental activities, right? So I think it's great to see companies like Tesla Motors when they're trying to really make electric cars accessible. I think trying to push people to think to fund more initiatives that are around innovation will always help the environment going forward.
Absolutely, and that's a really good point that you raised, is that many companies are now trying to go green, and that's so important too, because it's us at home that need to make a difference just in our everyday lives, but major companies, of course, need to put their job in too, right?
Right. Awesome,
guys. Well, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're talking about environmental awareness. We're right back. Welcome back to York Region Spotlight. Today's show, we're talking all about environmental awareness. We were joined by Cathy Nesbitt, who is the founder of Cathy's Crawly Composters, which is a really cool organization that I encourage everyone to look up at home. And if you can, definitely get involved, because it's a really great way to enforce environmental awareness, I would say. And we're also here now with Renee Yick and Emily Justice, who are the co-presidents of the Environmental Council here at Sacred Heart Catholic High School, which is in York Region. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you both here, especially because that used to be my high school. So very proud to hear. Yes, I'm very proud to hear that you both are doing such great work. And as Cathy mentioned off the air, just before we came back, that our school is doing so much great stuff. So I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. But let's get the conversation started a little bit. What has the council at the high school done so far? What do you feel like you want to do with it coming up in this year?
Well, okay. Well, we've gotten a lot of things done. We got new water fountains placed in.
Oh.
So yeah, so these ones, not only can you drink from them, but you can refill your water bottles there.
Very cool.
So it encourages using reusable water bottles.
Absolutely.
And we've also hosted many events like Earth Week and Waste Reduction Week, where we do a lot of events like...
So in Waste Reduction Week, we do litter lunch, and that's ways to promote kids, their students using Tupperware and just reducing the use of garbage.
Very cool. Right. That's actually something that I find students, it's like that stereotypical paper bag lunch kind of idea.
Yeah.
And I do it, I'll admit. But it's one of those things that there's such simple little things that we can change and we can really make a big difference. And I'm so happy to hear that both of you are taking the initiative to do things like that. Now, I am just curious, what are other ways that we can reduce the way we throw out things, especially on campuses of school or in the workplace? What are simple tricks that we can do? Maybe you want to touch on that, Cathy?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll jump in. Sure, why not? Worms, get worms. No.
Worms for
Worms are the answer for everything. They really are. Yeah.
Tell me, are they going to solve world hunger?
They are part of the solution for world hunger.
Okay.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, worms in the classroom absolutely offer a tremendous learning opportunity. Do you have worms at Sacred Heart?
We do not.
I think we tried it.
Oh, you tried it.
We got spiders instead.
What do they do? No. Yeah, so worms in the class really offer a tremendous opportunity. Some teachers have reported having worms in the class. Some of the students will eat better because they'll want to feed the worms. They'll be eating chips. They'll say, hey, I want to feed the worms, but the teacher will say, oh, thanks for your interest. Hopefully the teacher says that. And then says, if you want to feed the worms, you'll have to bring in a healthy snack. So it's a kind of hidden extra benefit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that could work at our school?
I think so.
Our schools, if I still go there, which I don't. still, I'm so used to saying it that way. But do you think that could work, something like that? Or what are other ways that we can try? Or what are other things we can try, I should say?
Well, what we're trying to do is for plastic water bottles, we're going to try to ban them at our school.
Oh,
Yeah.
Try it.
Take action.
It's so easy for people just to spend like $1 at the calf and pay when you could just use our new water fountains and a reusable water bottle, and it's so much easier.
And Sacred Heart could get branded ones.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it can be, promoting the school as
We can
you're
get
walking
Cathy
around.
in. There we go. Put Cathy in, everything will be solved.
There you go.
Now, one thing I love about youth is that we're very passionate about whatever we cover. So are adults as well. But we think of cool and innovative ways to just really promote whatever it is that we're trying to advocate for. So again, I love having to hear you guys say all this stuff, which is looks like it's going to be a really big transition in our school. That's, if you guys go through with that, that'll be really, really great. I think that could honestly make a big difference, not just in the school, but even on the surroundings of schools. I find that there's always trash left over and things like that. One thing I wanted to ask you, are you guys thinking of maybe doing like a community cleanup kind of thing? So going around to local parks and just cleaning up trash and things? I think that makes a big difference. Would that be something that you guys could think of?
Yeah, we're definitely interested in doing that. That and like tree plantings and all those things.
Tree planting?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. Well, how does that work exactly? Have you ever done something like that before?
I haven't done tree planting. I mean, I've been involved in tree plantings, but I haven't organized.
What is that like? What do you guys do? You just go to certain parks and just plant
trees.
Very cool. That's awesome. Very cool. Now, I wanted to ask, I asked this in the first segment with Vino and Cathy as well, but I want to know what you guys believe is the most important aspect of our environment that needs to be tackled and needs to be just taken action on, aside from the school, of course.
I think it's just the little things like the waste that's given, because I think a lot of people don't realize, like, when you go shopping and you use a plastic bag, like, that's hurting the environment. And it's such a small thing if you just brought your own bag to use instead.
For sure. Well, one thing that she told me about off the air was that Purell, for example. Oh no. Well, I have Purell on my hands all the time, or have some type of hand sanitizer, and apparently that's not good for the environment. So I think education is really important, and just letting people know what actually is good and what isn't good. So what's an example of something that people don't usually think of that is actually harming the environment, aside from hand sanitizer?
Yeah, hand sanitizer is huge because it's everywhere now.
Yeah.
And people think that it's a replacement for washing your hands. Just wash your hands, people. Soap and water, that's all you need. What else? Oh gosh, there's so many things. The idling, that's already been talked about, but not here, but that's a huge issue, idling and bringing your water bottle. I love that. I think that's a huge thing, if you can get that banned. And I think Markham Council has banned water bottles, and so you can use them as an example. One of the municipalities has banned water bottles in their buildings.
Very
so
cool.
you can use them as an example.
Now, I also want to ask you, like I said before, education is really key on this topic. Just when I was at school, I remember having so many motivational speakers come in and inspirational speakers. Do you think we need that for the environment as well? Is that one of your strategies you're thinking of implementing this year for the school, is having someone like Cathy, let's say, come in and talk about worms and the benefits of worms? Is that maybe an idea that you guys can promote to the school?
Yeah, for sure, especially just because to get awareness out to the students.
Absolutely. Like I said, worms is not the first thing I would think of, but like I said, if you educate someone and think of new and innovative ways to just promote environmental awareness, I think that's an awesome way to do it. Now, Cathy, you brought something for us. This is the family photo.
That's my family photo, yes.
As you describe it.
Yes.
Now, this is just my opinion, but students, would they be opposed to something like this? Or would they be, yeah, let's try it, why not? Because I know, at least when I was in high school, all the girly girls might have thought, oh, I don't know if I really want to see that in my classroom. But like you said, they don't smell. They are phenomenal. They work extremely well, so why not do it?
They work for scraps. And they're quiet.
And
and they have 5 hearts each. Each worm has 5 hearts.
Yeah,
you need that. Okay, good.
Very cool.
That's a kind of worms, by the way.
That's awesome. Now, what do you guys do in your personal time or at home that you find makes a difference? Such as, like, I know, for example, my mom does laundry, I believe, towards the later time in the night, because apparently it's better for the environment as well.
Well, it's cheaper.
Yeah, it's cheaper as well. You use less water. I've been told to take shorter showers. Just things like that. But what are the things that you guys do at home to reduce your carbon footprint?
I just think simple things like turning off the lights when you don't need them.
Ooh, good
and all
one,
that
very
stuff,
good one.
and unplugging things like if you don't need to use them. So that's really easy.
I know I'm horrible with unplugging my phone charger and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, definitely agree with that.
I hang my clothes up. I never use my dryer.
Very good one.
Yeah.
See,
And I love it. I feel like Cinderella. Is it Cinderella or Snow White? When I'm hanging out, I'm like, doo doo the birds, doo doo
Well,
doo.
there you go. Well, these are tips and tricks for any age, and of course, girls or boys, anyone can do this, and that's awesome. It's appealing to everyone. Well, thank you girls so much for coming on. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Your Christian Spotlight. Today's show, we're talking all about environmental awareness. We are here with Cathy Nesbitt, as I mentioned before, of Cathy's Crawley Composters. We're also now being joined by Chris Quapis, who is from the Green Planet Stew and Mowing, who is actually the founder of this company, which we're going to talk about more about in a second. And we're also here with Rosa Alaimo, who is from Eco Girls. She also founded this company. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Thanks for having us.
So happy to have you both here. As you just saw before, we had two of our girls from Sacred Heart. Chris is also from Sacred Heart here. But the best thing is that you guys are all youth, and you guys are all innovative and inspiring. But you both are in a different way. You guys have created companies around environmental sustainability, and I love that. So, first off, Chris, tell us about how you started your company and what it's done for you so far.
All right, well, over the summer, starting in July actually, through the summer company program, which is a company with the government of Ontario, they give you like a little bit of startup money to start up your company. I started a zero emissions lawn maintenance company. So it's completely green right from the core. I have my bike and I have a trailer that I fit all my equipment into, and I bike around from house to house cutting grass with all electrical equipment.
Awesome.
Green from start
But
to
are
finish.
the houses next door to each other?
The houses are pretty far apart. I bike all around Newmarket.
With your stuff in the trailer.
Oh yeah, bicycle and trailer.
So you're fit.
I guess you could say that. I'm used to
That's
biking
awesome.
like around 20 kilometers a day in the summer when I was
Wow.
doing it full time. So yeah, it's cutting the grass is the easiest part. So
Yeah, it's the getting there that's more difficult, right?
oh yeah, that's for sure.
Well, you're dedicated, and that's awesome. And it's done
you.
extremely well so far, I've heard.
Yes, I've had a lot of success over the summer because I offer kind of a no contract, no commitment service because
Okay.
everyone can kind of see themselves in a situation where they go to the cottage for the weekend, they've been working all week, they don't want to commit to a contract for the whole season, but maybe they can't get around to the grass that 1 week. So, they just give me a call and I'll come and do it once for them. Unfortunately, that does mean I zigzag around Newmarket a lot on my bike, so get into really good shape. I mean, can't really complain about
Yeah, you
that.
can't complain.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Very good. Rosa, go ahead. Tell us about Eco Girl.
Well, Eco Girl is trying to reduce landfill waste by upcycling trash and turning it into treasure.
Yes, and as you can see, the treasure that I'm
We're
wearing
all
on my
putting
ears
her
today, Cathy and I are sporting the latest look by Eco Girl. These feather earrings are awesome, as I mentioned, I don't even know how many times now off air, but they're phenomenal. They are feather earrings, and they are made by Rosa. They are absolutely amazing. Hope we can get a good shot of that. They're really cool. So what other kinds do you make? Let's take a look over here.
Well, this is a little change purse. I call it the Little Monster,
Very nice.
and it's made from the used bike inner tubes.
That's so cool.
They usually just get thrown out into the trash, and I've been working with some bike shops, and they save them for me. So over the summer, I've saved over 5,000 inner tubes from going to
That's
the landfill.
amazing. Very
Fantastic.
good. And the thing is, too, you make all of this yourself.
Yes.
Okay, both of you are like the two most dedicated teams I know. That's amazing, and they're so innovative too. And what's that right there? Can you hold it up for us?
This one is a pencil holder, or
Love it.
as you've told me,
Yes.
good for makeup brushes.
Yes.
And it's all woven from the inner tubes as well.
Amazing.
Sturdy and
The future is hopeful.
Yes. Awesome. That's no, seriously, that's really, really cool. I love the fact that it's all things that could have been landfill, and you've made something that is just so different. Yep, absolutely love it. Now, you guys are very involved now with environmental awareness projects, I would say. Have you always been environmentally conscious, or something that you just thought, you know what, I need to get into this?
I can't say that I've always been environmentally conscious.
Okay, all right.
As a matter of fact, like I'll admit to it, when I was starting up the company, I was thinking maybe I could just do like a regular grass cutting business. But, I'm a young guy and paying for my car insurance to drive around. It's like over $5,000 a year. So that's just not an option for me, right?
Yeah.
So I figured, all right, I've always kind of had an aptitude for biking. Let's do that. And I'm like, well, I'm biking everywhere. Let's see if I can get a trailer for it. It turns out a lot of people are starting to do this. They're kind of reverting to the olden days, I guess, where you take a bike everywhere and you get a trailer. So I got a trailer and I said, well, you know, I can get this gas-powered lawnmower that weighs like 80 pounds alone, or I can get some electrical equipment, which is much lighter. And I did some research too, and I found out that running your lawnmower for 1 hour is equivalent to a 100-mile car ride.
Wow.
Like emissions-wise. So I'm like, all right, well, I don't want to be standing behind a lawnmower that's blowing all these chemicals into my face all day. So it was partially just because of weight and all the biking that I'm doing, and partially just because of my own health reasons that I picked to go all green.
Benefits everyone.
Yeah.
Very cool. How about you? Were you always involved in this kind of stuff, or something you felt like you needed to start doing?
In grade 4, I joined the Eco Club at my school, and I've been on it ever since, and now in grade 11, I'm the president of my Eco Club, and I'm trying to inspire youth, because that's the future, and we need to start thinking of new innovative ways and getting involved and just aware about everything.
For sure. I actually, that's a perfect transition to my next question. How can we get youth inspired and excited to really help change the environment or want to take care of the environment? Just by looking at the both of you who have created successful companies off of this, I think that will inspire everyone at home to think, you know what? I can help the environment and help myself at the same time. But what are other smaller things that we can do? I think you mentioned the Eco Club. What's that? Talk about that for a little bit.
Well, the Eco Club, I think that's a key point in educating youth, because we don't really learn about the environment that much into detail. So the Eco Clubs is a great way to teach and have fun and meet with your friends and just everyone having like a big party about the environment. So I think that's great.
Awesome. Now, Cathy, I have to ask, you have been, I would say, the longest business owner of something that is environmentally conscious. Both of you, I would say, are still considered the rookie owners, even though you guys are extremely successful. That's amazing, but you've been this a bit longer. Do you find that businesses that are eco-friendly are becoming more popular and more in demand?
Absolutely, yes. People are voting with their dollars. It's exciting. So my business has increased. It's 11 years, and it keeps on increasing just as people are becoming more aware. They're demanding, and we vote with our dollars. That's the beautiful thing, is that we choose where we put our money. We only have a limited amount, so why not choose to support entrepreneurs who are doing great work? And it may cost a little bit more, but when you call that company, you get the owner. You get the decision maker right there. You don't have to wait for customer service and how do I return this? We're right here. So,
and there you go.
Yeah, entrepreneurs are the future, I believe.
Absolutely, and both of you are fine examples of that. Like I said, I truly am impressed with what you guys have done. I hope everyone at home has been inspired by listening to all of you talk about the environment and how we can help the environment. I want to thank all my guests for talking about their experiences and their opinions. See you next time on Your Crucian Spotlight.